Hey, I'm Cade, and this is Cade Made, and in this video, I will be showing you how I took this small garden in our backyard in our new house and turned it into this lovely pond garden, reminiscent of the one that I created in our other house. And just for a small bit of context, I would like to show you what the pond looked like last year when I got our 6 fish that reside in it. Had beautiful water hyacinths, a couple of different fountain spouts, and it was more naturalized into the landscape. But we moved, and so it's time to create another one. This garden was overgrown with euonymus, a sort of ground cover semi-evergreen plant, which after removing, I started digging the hole for the new pond, which is a kidney bean-shaped pond, the most general pond form that you can buy at both Home Depot and Lowe's. I'll link it in the description. So I needed to transfer these fish out of the pond before I could actually fit it into the hole. But I took some measurements and I just kind of got the general shape formed for it before I was able to bring it out. And as they always say, measure twice, dig more. Here's the water transferring into this small baby pool, which ended up bringing near death to all of the fish because there was a small leak in the bottom of that, which I didn't notice until about 3 a.m., which I feverishly then saved the fish. But anyway, I finally got the PVC pond out of the basement and was able to fit it appropriately into the ground. And after I had done all of the adjustments that I needed to do in terms of the hole, I filled in the edges with a rocky, gravelly mixture so that I could properly level the pond so that I could fill it up as much as possible. I'm filling it up at this stage to hold it in the ground and just completely know that it's going to be level before I start rockscaping it. I collected all of these rocks and stones and architectural elements from around our yard and around the neighborhood, in the forest, and essentially just puzzled it in until it looked good enough for me and looked naturalized enough for my delight. After getting the rockscaping done and establishing this berm, I started mulching it with this shredded pine bark mulch. I typically love that more than most other mulches, and then used these decorative stones that you can buy by the bag between $5 and $10 at Home Depot. I used some black river stones and then some crushed marble and then some other just basic granite pieces. And then I needed to establish the fountain. I do love these sort of bubble fountain tops. They're very easygoing and I like the shape. A couple of years ago, I purchased these expandable trellises from Menards, and I've really enjoyed them a lot and used them in several different applications separately, but they've held up amazingly for being out in the weather for a few years. And then I started kind of propagating plants from our other property because I had landscaped the whole garden and I kind of wanted to use a few things. So I took this ostrich plume fern and found a place for it in the garden and went ahead and placed it. Just push back your mulch to the side if you haven't done your plantings yet, and then you can just kind of fill it in over where you've planted your new babies. And I did leave plenty of room for planting possibilities in the future because a gardener's work is never done and you always want to have a lot more room to play. I also kept a ton of stuff in this garden, like those peonies next to that pot you see there. Those are wonderful old peonies which will bloom very quickly in probably the next month or so, these fantastic pink and white flowers. And then they have an interesting leafy green texture for most of the summer before they burn out in the fall. One suggestion I do have, which I've found to be incredibly useful, is that especially with shade gardens, if your family or friends or whoever has a shade garden, a lot of those plants will propagate rather quickly. And if you ask people, can I separate your hostas out, or, do you have some Solomans Seal or possibly some ferns that are propagating like this one? You can find so much value and not have to spend any money on your garden at all. I mean, people are thankful that you're helping them get rid of plants most of the time. So that's a major suggestion. Otherwise, I think the space is going to be just completely wonderful in progress, or as it is right now. I could probably do nothing the entire summer and it will bring me just great joy. But of course, I'll want to get in there and get my hands dirty because I do love my gardening, and Fargo loves it too. And that's pretty much it for this video. There's going to be plenty more outdoor content, some really cool reclaimed, reuse, upcycled DIY projects that I'm going to be coming up with in the next few months. So stay tuned for that. And I just really thank you, and the gnome thanks you as well for watching this video. And as always, if you've made it this far in this video, you obviously are getting some value out of this. So please do like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions or you want to see more of anything. I am just so happy to be here. So have a beautiful day, get out there, dig in, have fun, and we'll see you soon here on Cade Made. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a genius moment. Remember seeing the pond transfer into the baby pond? Well, last night I woke up and discovered that the pond had actually leaked everywhere. I think there's still standing water there. And the fish were totally on their sides in the water. And so I freaked out and put the fish in the laundry hamper. It was brilliant. You see that puddle of water? It's all water from the pond.